Hi, wonderful people. Let's solve for the value of x. And this comes with this, that x is what? An integer. All right. Now, let's begin. So, 9 is same thing as 3 squared. So, we can write this as 3 to the power of 2 raised to the power of x minus x to the power of 4 is same thing as 2 multiplied by 2, right? Is equal to 65. All right. Now recall that when you have a raised to the power of m times n, it is equal to a raised to the power of m multiplied by raised to the power of n, sorry, or a raised to the power of n raised to the power of m. Both of them is the same thing. So we can now rewrite this as 3 to the power of 2 raised to the power of x minus x to the power of 2 raised to the power of 2, right, is equal to 65. Now we are going to, we are going to bring this in and take this out, okay, so that we have two squares, difference of two squares. So if we do that, we have 3 to the power of x raised to the power of 2 minus x to the power of 2 raised to the power of 2 is equal to 65. Now we have difference of two squares. Yes, the identity that states that a squared minus b squared is equal to a minus b multiplied by a plus b. Okay, now in this case, our a is 3 to the power of x and our b is x squared. So we are going to substitute into this, okay, to expand this. Therefore, we can now rewrite this as a minus b, that is 3 to the power of x, right, minus x to the power of 2, okay, multiplied by a plus b, that is 3 to the power of x plus x to the power of 2. All right, and this is equal to 65. Okay, now 65 can be expressed in so many ways. We can write 65 to be equal to 1 multiplied by 65, or 65 multiplied by 1. We can also write 65 as 5 multiplied by 13 and 13 multiplied by 5. All right, now recall that we are told that our x is an integer. So if x is integer, then that simply means, that a minus b, okay, a minus b must be less than a plus b. So we have a minus b has to be less than a plus b. Therefore, if we should express this now in this way, so the first digits here, or the first number here, should be less than the second number. So since this is greater than the second number, this will be rejected. This is also greater than the second number, this should be rejected. 13 is greater, so it means that the first case we have is 3 to the power of x minus x squared multiplied by 3 to the power of x plus x squared is equal to 1 multiplied by 65. Now the second this thing that we have is that 3 to the power of x minus x squared multiplied by 3 to the power of x plus x squared is equal to 5 multiplied by 13. So these are the two conditions we are going to consider now while looking for the value of x. Now, if this is the first time you are tuning in, please click on the subscription button, turn on your notification bell so that you don't miss our amazing videos. Now, for the first condition, okay, for the first condition, we have 3 to the power of x minus x squared multiplied by 3 to the power of x plus x squared is equal to 1 multiplied by 65. Okay, so from here we can see that 3 to the power of x minus x squared is equal to 1. We call this equation 1. And we can see that 3 to the power of x plus x squared is equal to 65. So we call this equation 2. Now we minus, okay, so 3 to the power of x minus 3 to the power of x is 0. Minus x squared minus x squared will give us minus 2 multiplied by x squared, right, is equal to, now 1 minus 65 will give us minus 64. So we divide by minus 2, divide by minus 2, right? So we are going to have x squared is equal to, when minus 2 divide minus 64, we are going to have plus 32. Now from here we get x to be plus or minus square root of 32, which will give us a decimal number which is not an integer. So we are going to reject this. Remember that we are told that our x is an integer. That's a condition. So we go for the second condition. The second condition here is that we can write 3 to the power of x minus x squared, okay, multiplied by 3 to the power of x plus x squared is equal to 5 multiplied by 13. Okay, now that means we can say 3 to the power of x minus x squared is equal to 5. Call this equation 3. And we can say that 3 to the power of x plus x squared is equal to 13. Let's call this equation 4. Now if we subtract again, this minus this is 0. Minus x squared minus x squared is minus 2x squared is equal to 5 minus 13 is minus 8. Okay, all right, now we continue. So we divide by minus 2, divide by minus 2. We have x squared is equal to 4, right? Now you can see that x is equal to the square root of 4, which will give us plus or minus 2. Okay, all right, now from here we can see that we have gotten the value of our x, but being that this is okay, now let's check if what we got is correct. Let's check. We are checking now. Recall that this is the equation 9 to the power of x minus x to the power of 4 is equal to 65. So this is the equation. Now let's use plus 2 as x. So 9 to the power of 2 minus 2 to the power of 4 is equal to 65. So we have 81 minus 16 is equal to 65. Now 81 minus 16 will give us 65. So we can see that 65 is equal to 65. Now for the second value of x, which is minus 2, we know that this cannot give us this. Okay, so minus 2 is rejected. The only valid value of x that we have is that x is equal to 2. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.